Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Vanessa Redgrave is a highly acclaimed English actress, political activist, and one of the most respected performers of her generation. Born on January 30, 1937, in Greenwich, London, England. She comes from one of the most distinguished acting dynasties in British history. Her father, Sir Michael Redgrave, and mother, Rachel Kempson, were both celebrated actors, and her siblings, Corin and Lynn Redgrave, also achieved prominence on stage and screen. Early life and education. Vanessa grew up surrounded by theatre and literature, which deeply shaped her artistic sensibility. She attended the Central School of Speech and Drama in London, where she honed her craft. By the late 1950s, she had begun performing in the West End and with the Royal Shakespeare Company, where her intelligence, emotional depth, and commanding stage presence quickly made her a standout talent. Breakthrough and film career. Redgrave's first major film role came in Morgan, A Suitable Case for Treatment, 1966, for which she received her first Academy Award nomination. Her performance as a free-spirited woman in the film established her as a bold, unconventional actress willing to take artistic risks. She gained further acclaim in Blow Up, 1966, directed by Michelangelo Antonioni, which became a defining film of the 1960s. In Isadora, 1968, Redgrave portrayed the avant-garde dancer Isadora Duncan, earning another Oscar nomination for her passionate and fearless performance. She continued to demonstrate range and power in films such as The Devils, 1971, Mary, Queen of Scots, 1971, and Julia, 1977, the latter winning her the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Her portrayal of Julia, an anti-fascist activist, was deeply personal, aligning with her own political convictions. Later work and recognition. Throughout the 1980s and beyond, Redgrave continued to deliver remarkable performances in both film and television. Her roles in The Bostonians, 1984, and Howard's End, 1992, brought her further critical praise. She also appeared in Mission Impossible, 1996, Atonement, 2007, and Coriolanus, 2011, among many others. On television, she gave acclaimed performances in series such as If These Walls Could Talk 2 Inches, 2000, and Call the Midwife, and as Queen Elizabeth I in Anonymous, 2011. Her work has earned her 6 Oscar nominations, 2 Emmys, a Tony Award, and countless other honors, making her one of the few actors to achieve the Triple Crown of acting. Stage career. Redgrave's theater work has been as distinguished as her film career. She has portrayed some of the greatest roles in dramatic literature, from Shakespeare's Lady Macbeth, Cleopatra, and Rosalind, to Eugene O'Neill's Mary Tyrone in Long Day's Journey into Night and Tennessee Williams's Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire. Her stage performances are renowned for their intelligence, intensity, and deep humanity. Activism and personal life. Beyond acting, Redgrave is known for her political activism and humanitarian work. A committed socialist, she has been outspoken about issues ranging from human rights to opposition to war. Her activism sometimes sparked controversy, most notably during her Oscar acceptance speech in 1978, when she made a politically charged statement that drew both applause and criticism. Redgrave's personal life has been marked by great triumphs and profound tragedy. She was married to director Tony Richardson, father of her daughters Natasha Richardson and Jolie Richardson, both of whom became acclaimed actresses in their own right. The death of Natasha Richardson in 2009 was a devastating loss for Redgrave and her family. Legacy. Vanessa Redgrave is widely regarded as one of the greatest actresses in modern history, a performer of immense intelligence, courage, and emotional truth. Her career, spanning over 6 decades, has combined artistic excellence with deep moral conviction. Whether on stage, in film, or as a voice for social justice, Redgrave's work continues to inspire admiration around the world. Expanded career highlights. Throughout her long and prolific career, Vanessa Redgrave has consistently challenged herself with complex, emotionally charged, and often politically provocative roles. Her artistry is characterized by fearless emotional honesty, intellectual depth, and a commanding presence that makes her one of the most respected actors of the 20th and 21st centuries. 1970s. Artistic bravery and international recognition. The 1970s were a defining decade for Redgrave. In addition to her acclaimed portrayal in Isadora, 1968, she gave a powerful performance in Ken Russell's The Devils, 1971, an intensely controversial film exploring religious hysteria and political corruption. She also starred in Mary, Queen of Scots, 1971, opposite Glenda Jackson, portraying Mary Stuart with a haunting mixture of pride, grace, and vulnerability. Her Oscar-winning performance in Julia, 1977, remains one of her most celebrated, playing a woman who risks her life resisting Nazi oppression. Redgrave brought dignity and quiet strength to the role. However, her Oscar speech that year stirred controversy. She thanked the Academy while condemning Zionist hoodlums, referencing protests against her earlier documentary, The Palestinian. The moment became one of the most famous and divisive in Oscar history, emblematic of Redgrave's unflinching commitment to her beliefs. 1980s. Stage triumphs and acclaimed roles. In the 1980s, Redgrave continued to balance stage and screen work with equal vigor. She starred in The Bostonians, 1984, an adaptation of the Henry James novel, earning her another Academy Award nomination. Her portrayal of a feminist reformer in 19th-century Boston showed her ability to convey both intellectual rigor and aching sensitivity. On stage, she became one of the world's foremost interpreters of Shakespeare, performing with the Royal Shakespeare Company and National Theatre in London and on Broadway. She took on roles such as Cleopatra, Lady Macbeth, and Prospero, often reimagined through a feminist or political lens. Critics frequently described her as one of the greatest living Shakespearean actors. 1990s to 2000s. Renewed success and personal tragedy. Redgrave remained in high demand during the 1990s, appearing in James Ivory's Howard's End, 1992, where she played the kind, dying matriarch Ruth Wilcox, a performance of quiet grace that earned her another Oscar nomination. She also made a memorable appearance in Brian De Palma's Mission Impossible, 1996, as the enigmatic arms dealer Max. Her television work flourished too. She won Emmy Awards for playing For Time, 1981, in which she portrayed musician and Holocaust survivor Fania Fenelon, and for If These Walls Could Talk Too, 2000, where she played an elderly lesbian mourning her longtime partner. In the 2000s, Redgrave endured profound personal losses. Her brother Corin Redgrave died in 2010, her sister Lynn Redgrave just a month later, and her daughter Natasha Richardson tragically passed away in 2009 after a skiing accident. Despite these heartbreaks, Vanessa continued to work, channeling her grief into her art. 2010s to present. Legacy of resilience. Even in her later years, Redgrave has remained active and powerful on screen and stage. She gave deeply affecting performances in films such as Atonement, 2007, where her short but memorable role as the elderly Bryony Tallis earned critical praise, and Coriolanus, 2011, directed by Ralph Fiennes. In 2017, She made her directorial debut with the documentary Cesaro, which examines the plight of refugees, a topic that reflects her lifelong humanitarian concerns. She also appeared in the acclaimed TV series, Call the Midwife, and The 13th Tale, 2013. Political activism and humanitarian work. Redgrave's activism is inseparable from her public identity. A lifelong socialist, she has been outspoken about human rights, war, and social injustice. She was a prominent member of the Workers' Revolutionary Party in the 1970s and supported causes including Palestinian rights, anti-fascism, nuclear disarmament, and refugee welfare. Her activism has occasionally provoked backlash, yet she has never compromised her convictions. She has spoken at the United Nations, worked with UNICEF, and campaigned tirelessly for humanitarian relief efforts. Her documentary The Palestinian, 1977, and later Cesaro, 2017, both express her empathy for displaced and oppressed peoples worldwide. Awards and honors. Over her illustrious career, Vanessa Redgrave has earned an extraordinary array of honors. Academy Award, 1977, Best Supporting Actress for Julia. Tony Award, 2003, Best Actress in a Play for Long Day's Journey into Night. 2 Emmy Awards, 1981. 2000, BAFTA Fellowship, 2010, Lifetime Achievement. Golden Globe Awards, multiple wins and nominations, numerous Olivier Awards and honorary doctorates recognizing her contribution to the arts. She is one of the rare performers to achieve the Triple Crown of acting, winning an Oscar, Emmy, and Tony, a testament to her mastery across all mediums. Legacy. Vanessa Redgrave's influence extends far beyond her performances. She has shaped generations of actors through her courage, integrity, and relentless pursuit of truth in art. Her willingness to confront controversial issues, both on and off screen, has made her a figure of moral as well as artistic authority. Directors and co-stars often describe her as fearless, intellectually rigorous, and emotionally generous. Her daughters, Natasha and Jolie Richardson, have carried on her artistic legacy, embodying the same combination of grace and strength that defines the Redgrave family name. Even into her late 80s, Redgrave remains a commanding and compassionate voice in global cinema and humanitarianism, a true artist whose work continues to move and challenge audiences worldwide. Acting style and philosophy. Vanessa Redgrave is often described as an actor of extraordinary depth, intelligence, and moral gravity. Her performances are not merely portrayals, they are acts of empathy and inquiry, revealing the psychological, political, and emotional layers within every role. Critics have long noted her unique blend of restraint and passion. She can convey profound emotion with a mere glance, then erupt into fierce, raw expression without losing control of the character's truth. Her voice, measured, musical, and articulate, has become one of her trademarks, capable of carrying both tenderness and authority. Redgrave's approach to acting is deeply intellectual, yet never detached. She once said that acting, for her, is about truth-telling, the attempt to make sense of human experience through art. She immerses herself in the inner world of her characters, often exploring their political or philosophical dimensions. This reflective quality, coupled with her emotional fearlessness, makes her performances both cerebral and deeply moving. On stage, she has been described as majestic yet vulnerable, commanding the audience with a quiet power that feels almost spiritual. Whether portraying Shakespearean queens, tragic heroines, or modern radicals, Redgrave brings an aura of authenticity that transcends theatrical artifice. Collaborations and artistic partnerships. Over her long career, Vanessa Redgrave has worked with many of the most influential directors in theater and cinema. With Michelangelo Antonioni, she created one of the 1960s defining screen icons in Blow Up, 1966. Under Carol Rice, she gave life to Isadora Duncan, 1968, blending artistry with eccentric freedom. In Fred Zinnemann's Julia, 1977, she forged one of her most acclaimed performances, working alongside Jane Fonda and Jason Robards. James Ivory directed her in Howard's End, 1992, where her quiet dignity as Ruth Wilcox became one of the film's emotional centers. On stage, she collaborated with directors like Peter Hall, Trevor Nunn, and Robert Altman. And later with her daughter Natasha Richardson, with whom she shared a celebrated mother-daughter chemistry in Long Day's Journey into Night, 2003. These collaborations often reflect mutual respect. Many directors have remarked on her willingness to challenge convention and search for moral meaning in every role. Ralph Fiennes, who directed her in Coriolanus, 2011, described her as a soul of theater, a person who gives herself completely. In pursuit of what is real. The Redgrave family legacy. The Redgrave family has long been regarded as Britain's first family of acting. Vanessa stands as the central figure in this dynasty, which spans 3 generations of artistry. Her father, Sir Michael Redgrave, 1908 to 1985, was one of the leading actors of mid-20th century British theatre and cinema. Her mother, Rachel Kempson, was a respected stage actress and a grounding presence in the family. Her siblings, Corin and Lynn Redgrave, each made significant contributions to acting and political activism. Her daughters, Natasha Richardson and Jolie Richardson, carried forward the tradition, both achieving success in Hollywood and theatre. Despite public feuds and tragedies, the Redgraves remained bound by shared artistic purpose and compassion. Vanessa has often said that theatre was the family's church, a space where art and morality intertwined. Critical reception and cultural impact. Critics across generations have praised Redgrave for her courage, precision, and spiritual intensity. She has often been compared to legendary performers like Katharine Hepburn, Ingrid Bergman, and Meryl Streep, yet her artistry remains singular. Her performances in Isadora, Julia, and the Bostonians are often cited among the greatest of modern British cinema. In the theatre, her Long Day's Journey into Night is considered definitive, and her Shakespearean interpretations, particularly Antony and Cleopatra and The Tempest, are regarded as benchmarks for classical acting. The New York Times once described her as a moral and artistic giant, while The Guardian called her the conscience of British theatre. Even when her political stances provoked controversy, critics admired her unwavering integrity. She has been unafraid to speak about injustice, even at the cost of her popularity, a quality that has only enhanced her reputation as a principled artist. Mentorship and influence. Beyond her performances, Redgrave has influenced countless actors and students. She has taught masterclasses, supported emerging playwrights, and encouraged younger performers to use art as a vehicle for truth and empathy. Actors like Emma Thompson, Ralph Fiennes, and Helen Mirren have cited her as an inspiration. Her courage to merge art and activism paved the way for politically conscious artists across the globe. Her daughters also credit her with teaching them discipline, emotional honesty, and respect for theatre as a sacred craft. Jolie Richardson has said that her mother doesn't just play a character, she becomes a vessel for something larger, something profoundly human. Recent work and continuing legacy. Even in her late 80s, Vanessa Redgrave continues to act, speak, and create. She appeared in the films The Lost Girls, 2022, and Mrs. Lowry and Son, 2019, demonstrating undiminished power and grace. Her presence, calm yet commanding, continues to draw audiences who have followed her career for decades. Redgrave has also become an advocate for refugees, education, and the arts, often giving speeches emphasizing the moral responsibility of artists in times of political crisis. She remains active in international theater festivals and charitable causes. Her legacy, ultimately, is one of truth, compassion, and courage, an artist who has not only illuminated the stage and screen but also the conscience of her time. Conclusion: Vanessa Redgrave's life and career represent one of the most remarkable journeys in modern cultural history. Over more than 6 decades, she has embodied artistry as activism, proving that performance can be both emotionally transformative and politically meaningful. She stands as a bridge between the golden age of classical acting and the socially engaged art of the modern era, a performer whose voice, presence, and moral conviction will continue to resonate long after the curtain falls. Chronological timeline of Vanessa Redgrave's life and career: 1937 to 1950s. Early life and formation: 1937, Vanessa Redgrave is born on January 30 in Greenwich, London, to actors Sir Michael Redgrave and Rachel Kempson. She grows up surrounded by theatre, literature, and art, often visiting her parents' rehearsals and productions. 1950s, Redgrave studies acting at the Central School of Speech and Drama in London, following in her family's footsteps. 1957, she makes her stage debut in A Touch of the Sun at the Shakespeare Memorial Theatre, Stratford-upon-Avon. 1960s, rise to prominence: Redgrave joins the Royal Shakespeare Company, performing alongside future legends like Ian Holm and Judi Dench. 1961, gains early recognition for her performance in the prime of Miss Jean Brodie on stage. 1966, breakthrough in Michelangelo Antonioni's Blow Up, portraying a mysterious model. The film becomes a symbol of the 1960s counterculture. 1966, receives her first Academy Award nomination for Morgan, A Suitable Case for Treatment. 1968, stars as dancer Isadora Duncan in Isadora, earning another Oscar nomination and international acclaim. 1970s, stardom and activism: 1971, appears in The Devils, Ken Russell, and Mary, Queen of Scots, opposite Glenda Jackson. 1977, wins the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for Julia, directed by Fred Zinnemann. Her Oscar acceptance speech, defending her political beliefs, sparks one of the most famous controversies in Academy history. 1970s, becomes deeply involved in political activism, notably supporting Palestinian rights, anti-war movements, and humanitarian causes. 1980s, mastery of stage and screen: 1981, wins an Emmy Award for Playing for Time, portraying Holocaust survivor Fania Fenelon. 1984, stars in The Bostonians, earning another Oscar nomination and critical praise for her nuanced portrayal of feminist Olive Chancellor. 1985 to 1988, continues to perform major Shakespearean roles across London and New York, becoming a leading figure in both British and American theatre. 1990s, respected veteran and family collaborations: 1992, plays Ruth Wilcox in Howard's End, a performance noted for its warmth and quiet power, earns yet another Oscar nomination. 1996, appears in Mission Impossible as arms dealer Max, showcasing her versatility in a blockbuster franchise. 1998, acts in Mrs. Dalloway, adapted from Virginia Woolf's novel, demonstrating her continuing affinity for literary roles. 2000s, Triumph and Tragedy: 2000, wins her second Emmy Award for If These Walls Could Talk Too. 2003, stars in Long Day's Journey into Night on Broadway with her daughter Natasha Richardson. earning the Tony Award for Best Actress. 2007 appears in Atonement as the older Bryony Tallis, delivering one of the film's most haunting moments. 2009 tragedy strikes when her daughter Natasha Richardson dies in a skiing accident. Redgrave's grace during this period moves the public deeply. 2010's Reflection, Advocacy, and Directing 2010 receives the BAFTA Fellowship for Lifetime Achievement. 2011 appears in Coriolanus, directed by Ralph Fiennes, earning praise for her portrayal of Volumnia. 2013 stars in the BBC film The 13th Tale and continues to appear in Call the Midwife. 2017 makes her directorial debut with Cesaro, a documentary on the refugee crisis, marking her evolution into filmmaker and humanitarian advocate. 2020's continued relevance and reverence 2019 to 2022 appears in Mrs. Lowry and Son and the Lost Girls, continuing to perform into her 80s. Redgrave remains active in humanitarian work, theater, and public life, often speaking about art's role in truth and justice. Selected filmography highlights year film roll notes 1966 Morgan, A Suitable Case for Treatment Leonie Delp first Oscar nomination 1966 Blow Up Jane Cultural Landmark Film 1968 Isadora Duncan Cannes Best Actress, Oscar nominee 1971 Mary, Queen of Scots Mary Stuart Historical Drama 1977 Julia Academy Award win 1981 Playing for Time Fania Fenelon Emmy Award winner 1984 The Bostonians Olive Chancellor Oscar nominee 1992 Howard's End, Ruth Wilcox Oscar nominee 1996 Mission Impossible Max Major Hollywood hit 2007 Atonement older Bryony Tallis BAFTA nominee 2011 Coriolanus Volumnia acclaimed supporting role 2017 Cesaro director, narrator documentary debut notable stage roles Shakespeare, Antony and Cleopatra, Macbeth, The Tempest, As You Like It, Twelfth Night, King Lear modern classics, A Streetcar Named Desire, as Blanche Dubois, The Cherry Orchard, as Renevskaya, Long Day's Journey into Night, as Mary Tyrone, contemporary works, The Year of Magical Thinking, 2008. Based on Joan Didion's memoir, a moving meditation on grief that resonated deeply after the loss of her daughter Natasha. Her theatrical presence has been described as majestic, intellectual, and tender, capable of commanding even the largest stages through her stillness and precision. Influence on global culture Vanessa Redgrave's influence extends beyond acting into global cultural consciousness. She has redefined what it means to be an artist engaged with the world, an individual who sees no boundary between art and moral responsibility. Her legacy can be seen in the rise of socially engaged cinema and political theater, the increasing recognition of female agency in the performing arts, the inspiration she has given to younger generations of actors who view performance as an act of empathy and activism. Redgrave's work has been studied in film and theater schools worldwide. Scholars note her ability to blend intellectual rigor with emotional authenticity, making her both a model performer and a living conscience of her craft. Personal philosophy Vanessa Redgrave has often spoken about acting as a moral and spiritual endeavor. She views the actor's responsibility as bearing witness to the truth of human life. She has said, "Art must disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. Otherwise, it has no purpose." This belief has guided her for over 6 decades, shaping not just her career, but the very way audiences understand the power of theater and film as agents of empathy and change. Enduring legacy today, Vanessa Redgrave is celebrated not only as one of the greatest British actresses but as a symbol of integrity, artistry, and compassion. Her contributions to cinema, theater, and humanitarianism form a body of work that stands as a monument to the intersection of art and conscience. She remains, as critic David Thompson wrote, a performer of vast moral authority, whose every gesture suggests both the weight of the world and the grace to bear it. Trophy Major Awards and honors. Vanessa Redgrave's career has spanned more than 6 decades and earned her almost every major accolade in film, theater, and television. She is among the few artists to achieve the Triple Crown of acting, winning an Oscar, Emmy, and Tony. Academy Awards, Oscars, trophy winner, Julia, 1977, Best Supporting Actress. Clapperboard nominations. Morgan, A Suitable Case for Treatment, 1966, Best Actress. Isadora, 1968, Best Actress. Mary, Queen of Scots, 1971, Best Actress. The Bostonians, 1984, Best Actress. Howard's End, 1992, Best Supporting Actress. Her 1977 Oscar acceptance speech remains one of the most famous in Academy history, an unapologetically political statement that underscored her lifelong defiance of convention. BAFTA Awards Trophy. BAFTA Fellowship, 2010, Lifetime Achievement Trophy. BAFTA Award for Best Actress in a Supporting Role, Atonement, 2007, nominee, nominations across multiple decades, marking her as one of the most consistently recognized British performers in history. Tony Awards, Theatre Trophy. Best Actress in a Play, Long Day's Journey into Night, 2003, Face Mask nominated for the Year of Magical Thinking, 2007, her Broadway triumphs solidified her reputation as one of the few actors equally revered on both sides of the Atlantic. Emmy Awards, Television Trophy. Playing for Time, 1981, Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited Series or Movie Trophy. If These Walls Could Talk Too, 2000, Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Miniseries or Movie. Her television work, often centered on historical and socially conscious stories, expanded her reach to new audiences. Other honors. Golden Globe Awards, 2 wins, including for Julia and Playing for Time. Screen Actors Guild Award, Outstanding Ensemble Cast, nominee for Atonement, Olivier Award, multiple nominations for her stage work in London. Commander of the Order of the British Empire, CBE, awarded in 1967. BAFTA Fellowship, 2010, recognizing her outstanding and exceptional contribution to film. Numerous lifetime achievement honors from international film festivals, including Venice, Berlin, and Cannes. Rock. Political activism and controversies. Vanessa Redgrave's activism is legendary, passionate, controversial, and fearless. Her political involvement has been both admired and criticized, yet she has never compromised her convictions. Palestinian advocacy in the 1970s. Redgrave was one of the few high-profile Western figures to openly support Palestinian rights. Her 1977 documentary The Palestinian, directed with Roy Battersby, explored the plight of refugees and resistance movements. This advocacy drew severe backlash in the United States, culminating in protests at the 1978 Academy Awards. During her Oscar speech for Julia, she famously declared, "I thank you for standing by me and for having the courage to stand by me." In the face of the same kind of intimidation and fear that drives fascism and anti-Semitism and racism in all its manifestations, the reaction was mixed. Some applauded her bravery. Others condemned her politics. It was one of the most polarizing moments in Oscar history. But it also cemented her image as an artist of moral integrity who refused to separate her art from her beliefs. Workers' Revolutionary Party in the 1970s and 1980s. Redgrave and her brother Corin became active members of the Workers' Revolutionary Party, WRP, a Trotskyist organization. She financed and campaigned for the party, advocating for socialist causes, anti-fascism, and workers' rights. Though the WRP later faced internal scandal and dissolution, Redgrave continued to espouse socialist ideals, particularly focusing on justice for refugees, children, and victims of war. Humanitarian work outside party politics. Redgrave has worked tirelessly with international organizations.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.